Good morning, Class 5, last English of the week. So we're going to have a look at reported and direct speech in GPS, and then you are going to write a newspaper report. So the reported and direct speech links really well because you need to use those in newspaper reports. So the difference between the two: direct speech uses speech marks. It's exactly what the speaker has said, like what we looked at yesterday, new line and a new speaker. And the narration about who said it can go before, after, or between the speaker's words. Whereas reported speech doesn't use speech marks. It changes pronouns and the word order. It adjusts the verb tenses, usually starts by telling you who spoke. Sometimes the words can be changed a little bit, and it often uses the word that, but you don't have to use that. You can omit that if you wanted to. So we're going to have a look at these two examples here. So we've got Melissa said, "I love horses and unicorns." That is direct speech. It is exactly what Melissa has said. It's got the speech marks. Whereas turning that to reported speech, Melissa told people that she loves horses and unicorns. It's what she's told people. It's not using speech marks. We wouldn't say Melissa told people, speech marks, that she loves horses and unicorns, because that wouldn't be what she's directly said. Another example, so going from reported to direct speech, Aisha told me that she's competing in a dance competition. That's what I would say to somebody else. It's reported. I'm reporting what Aisha has told me. Whereas direct speech, Miss, I can competing. I am competing in a dance competition soon, exclaimed Aisha. Direct speech, it's got the speech marks. It's exactly what Aisha has said. Okay, so your turn. You need to pause the video whilst you do this. Have a look at the examples. Okay, I think this is in your pack, but we'll do this one on the screen together. Pause the video whilst you write direct or indirect, and then we'll have a look at the answers together. William asked if he could have a turn on the slide. That is indirect because it doesn't use speech marks. It's my turn next, Shia shouted. Direct speech because it's got the speech marks. It's exactly what Shia has shouted. Dad said that the children should stop arguing. Indirect because it's sort of paraphrasing what Dad has said. It's not exactly what Dad has said. Kylie mentioned that the swings were free. Is an example of indirect speech. I love the park, squealed Amir. Is an example of direct speech. And Mum told the children that it was time to go home. Is indirect speech. Well done if you got those right. So now you need to complete the rest of your sheets. So if you pause your video whilst you do that, and then unpause it, ready for the rest of the English lesson. So a newspaper report about the incident with the lighthouse going off. I love newspaper reports, and I think this class are fantastic at writing them. So I'm really excited to see what you write. So what do you need to include when writing a newspaper then? Think about the features. So we have a byline. So in your report you need to write reported by and then your name. We need a headline. Short, snappy headline. You don't want something that gives the whole newspaper report away. You want something that's going to keep the readers interested. We need the main body of the text, which I will explain in a little bit more detail later on. We need the 5 W's that are always at the beginning of the report. We need quotes from witnesses, which will be your direct and indirect speech. We need a picture and a caption to keep the reader interested. And reorientation, which is always at the end, which brings the report back to present tense. So I've done a little example just so that I can explain and show you sort of what I expect. This is just showing you where you need to write. So you've got your title at the top, then your headline, your picture and your caption. So your introduction, your 5 W's. Most of the time, all of the 5 W's are in there. It just depends on what you are writing. Last night at approximately 11 p.m, a lighthouse broke, which almost caused a ship to crash into the rocks near the village of Scarborough. Again, you can make up where you think it is. I've just said Scarborough because I know it's on the coast. The main body of the text then, this answers the how and the why, and it also includes quotes from witnesses. This is where you need to use your reported and direct speech. See if you can spot those both in mine. Unfortunately, the cogs that make the lighthouse light up had broken. The lighthouse keeper told me that he was frantically trying to fix it as he knew that there was a ship due to bring goods into the village. The ship was getting even closer and was only about 10 metres away from the rocks when the captain had to swiftly manoeuvre the ship to safety. The captain said, "Oh, made a mistake there. You need to always check your work. I clearly didn't." The rain was torrential and it was extremely windy. The journey was difficult anyway. I saw the lighthouse and knew I was nearly safe. But then everything went black. I started to panic and didn't know what to do. So can you find the example of reported speech? Well done. If you said this part, the lighthouse keeper told me that. And then the direct speech is at the bottom here from what the captain said. So make sure you've got at least one example of both of those in your newspaper report. And then finally, the reorientation brings the report back to the present tense, what's happening now as a result of what happened. So the villagers realised that something was wrong, so they all came together. Oh, I've made another mistake there. So they all came together and brought their lanterns. Together, they climbed the lighthouse and managed to steer the ship to safety. The lighthouse keeper and the captain were so thankful of how all the villagers came together. Now, they are all planning a village party to show how their community have come together. Now, what you should have noticed in this video is how important it is that you read and check your work. I made 2 mistakes there because I didn't read mine properly, so make sure that you read and check your work really carefully. To check for your spellings, you can read from the bottom to the top, okay, like we've done in class before. I'm really excited to see what some of you have done for this piece, guys, so make sure you get those sent over. Have a lovely weekend.